In this video, I'm going to show you how to paint a rusty metal handrail. And we're going to do it right now. Here I have a very rusty metal handrail and it needs a little attention. As you can see, it's rusting out, the paint's coming off, and this is really typical. And this is probably, honestly, something that I would do off camera, but I've received a couple comments asking how I would do it. So you can do it however you want, but in this video, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. So let's go. First thing I'm going to do is take a drop cloth and just put it down loosely around this to try and catch all of the, or most of the paint and rust that I'm going to be scraping off of here. Now keep in mind, especially if you have an old house, you could definitely have lead paint here. So you can test it, you can do any of the things that you want to do by putting up plastic and using a HEPA filter on a vacuum. That's all up to you. And definitely wear a respirator or at least a dust mask while you're scraping this stuff. Now I'm gonna take a 5-in-1, you can use any kind of paint scraper, and I'm just gonna try and get the loose paint off of this thing. I'm not gonna worry too much about the rust right now, just the loose bits of paint. Here's a good example of what I wanna get rid of. Just take my 5-in-1 or my scraper and just get all the loose stuff off of here. Once the paint kind of stops coming off with the scraper, you can move on to the next spot. Basically, you wanna do that on this entire thing. Might be here a while. Now, obviously, this is not the only option. You could also do like a wire wheel attachment to a drill and do this whole thing that way. You could also, if you felt so inclined and you had a sandblaster or something like that, you could take this handrail off and do, sandblast it. But with me, I don't even have that option because right here, it goes into the concrete. Of course, I could always cut it and then put a thing there and reattach it, but if you have minimal tools and you don't want to make this a huge project, this is the way to go. You want to make sure you get underneath the handrail. Actually, that's in good shape. A little bit right here. Now, this is kind of a tricky part right here, so I'm not even going to worry about it just because of this detail. I'm not really going to be able to get a flat spot here. I'll show you what I'm going to do with that in a minute. If I wanted to spend all week here, I could probably get all of this paint off. I just have to really work at it. I could do it, but I don't want to be here all week. Another tricky spot right here, but there's a lot of rust. Next up, wire brush. I'm going to use this around this entire thing, and this is what I'm going to use to get in here with these spindles because of their wacky design. And I'll give you an example right here of about how much I'm going to do this. This will get more of that loose paint off of there and some more of that rust. And my goal is not to get all of the rust off. I'll show you why in a little bit, but just do what I can like this. And about that is good. And I can give you an example on a really rusty spot down here. This will get in to these tight spaces. And basically, you're gonna wanna make it look kind of like that. So again, do that for the entire handrail. If you wanna make it really easy, you can use a wire wheel, just like this on your drill. But I would wear safety glasses because these little wires can pop out sometimes and you definitely don't want that in your eye. But this will make it a lot faster, especially for big spots like this. Just don't get it caught on your drop cloth. And try and get in all these little details here. And this might even work better for stuff like that. Okay, so that's as far as I'm gonna go. It looks pretty good. Not perfect, obviously, but I got a lot of that rust off and a lot of that loose paint. So I'm gonna clean up all of this debris and move on to the next step. Now I'm gonna take some mineral spirits and wipe this down just to get all of the dust and anything else that might be on here, and prep it for priming. So if I wipe it, you can see all that metal, that paint, everything. Just get all that off. For my primer coat, I'm gonna use this rust-oleum rust reformer. And honestly, I probably could have sprayed this right over this as it was without doing everything I just did. But I think doing that is gonna be an extra step that's gonna make this last a lot longer. This claims to be able to go right over rust and turn it into a nice sealed paintable surface, and it will prevent rust in the future. So I think this is gonna be good, and then I'll paint over that. This is black. I am actually going to change these railings to black. The white gets dirty so quick, and if it does rust, it looks terrible. I don't think it'll look as bad with black. But since this is a spray, I'm gonna be very careful and mask off everything that I don't want black paint on, and it is a little windy, so wish me luck. We'll see how it goes. Put the me on there. I am only doing this much because it is windy. All right, I'm gonna try and paint it even though it's windy. I'll just be careful and try not to put it on too thick. But if I do, the good thing is runs don't rust. Try and get in all these little crevices. By the way, I have a little piece of cardboard here to block anywhere I don't want the paint. I like to do short little bursts like this so I don't put too much on. I can always go back around and hit anything that I missed. Try and get underneath. And honestly, like places like this, I really don't care if I put on too much. I think the more, the better. Especially on top of those bolts. The hardest part, these things. Okay, now I'm gonna go around, now that I got a coat on everything, and you can see like spots like this. There's a little bit of a miss, and this is a little light right here, and there's a big miss right here. So I'll just go around the whole thing, put a nice light coat, all around. This is looking good though. I like it. I like this so much better than when it was white. Actually, this is the same kind of sheen as the paint I was gonna use, and you can use it as a finish coat, so I'm just gonna do that. I used up the can, and it's nice and even. It's got plenty of paint on it, or rust reformer. But if you did want to top coat it, you need to wait 24 hours to let it cure, and then I'd take 150 grit sanding sponge, sand this down, and then put your top coat on. But I'm happy with that. I think that looks way better than the white. Now my only issue is I can't decide if I really do want to paint this black or paint it white. What do you think? Leave a comment below. What's your opinion? If you had to paint a rusty handrail like this, I hope the video helps. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one. How was that shot? Get a good mask shot and do something like sandblast it if you really wanted to go that far. Having trouble seeing? When we make this video, we should put in the classic SpongeBob, 4 hours later. Don't get it caught on your drop cloth. Don't do that. I already warned you not to do that.
Don't get it caught on your drop cloth.
Careless. Don't forget to get where the sun don't shine. Is that a carpenter ant? I gotta spray for carpenter ants is what I gotta do. I mean, it's black, so I guess it'd be okay on the driveway. I'm gonna repaint this. What do you think? Do it anyways, huh? I feel like we should just go bold and paint it black. It's black or white? You tell me in the comments, yeah. Hee hee.